Today we are looking at examples 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully you watched the previous video where I went through all the polar functions, and this video should be pretty short. So these are the kind of questions you will see on the multiple choice that deal with polar function graphs. So they tell us here we have this function graphed on here, which of the following could be an expression for f of theta. So you have two options. You can either kind of memorize things we talked about in the video, or you could plug in points. Plugging in points is a nice way. So what I would do if you were going the plugging in points route is look for where one of your petals ends for polar rows and see like, hey, this angle would be pi 6. And then you would plug in pi 6 in for theta and see if you get 3 as your answer because it's on the 3 circle. Or you just remember that, okay, the inside number tells us how many petals, all 3. And then the outside number tells us how long those petals are, which are 3 units. So then we just have to think about the symmetry, whether it's sine or cosine. Cosine, you will have a petal on the x-axis or on the polar axis, where sine you do not. So this has to be a sine one. And then there you can either plug in a number, or literally if you look at the one right above, that is this exact equation. So it is 3 sine 3 theta. So our answer is A. Okay. But like I said, you could also say like 3 sine 3 pi 6, and you plug this in, and this becomes pi halves, and sine of pi halves is 1, and you get 3, which is exactly the coordinate point right here. And if you plug in that, you would have seen that works for that one. Now, you should check that it works for the other ones, but you'll see that it doesn't if you try them all. All right, so then this one, we have a cardioid because it comes to that point at the pole. So we know this, the numbers are the same. This one, I highly recommend just remembering the different patterns. But again, you can also plug in a angle. This one, you could plug in 0 and see if you get 0 because there's nothing over here. So that means this point has to be 0, 0. But you could also plug in pi halves, 3 pi halves, right? Or pi, and you should get one of those values. But you can also just remember that, okay, it's horizontal based, which means it has to be cosine. So A and B are out. And then because the bigger part is on the negative x side, it would have to be negative cosine. Okay. And then the last one, well, it's almost identical to example 1, except it's negative, which just means we have the reflection. So again, you see like, oh, it's sine, so that means it does not have a petal on the x-axis, so A and B are out. And then, well, again, you plug in a number, you will eventually see that, hey, this one doesn't work, and this one does. So yeah. Like I said, plug them in. I also have on our agenda the Desmos ones that you can play around with, so you can actually see these graphs a little bit more. But that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Have